Hi, you guys. It's Amanda with Healthy House on the Block here with our weekly blog post. And this week, I thought it was only fitting to share with you guys free things that you can do around your house to improve the health of your home environment and things that aren't going to require you to necessarily go out to a store. If you're like my family, you're kind of stuck at home right now. We're basically getting outside in our own neighborhood. We're not really going anywhere aside from maybe once a week to get groceries, and we have a couple work obligations between my husband and I, but otherwise we're just home. And so it got me to thinking, I like to do activities and things at home. I like to do home improvements, but there are some things that are going to be more helpful to the environment in your home than others. You might be wondering, like, why does that even matter right now? Well, the indoor environment of our house actually can play a huge role in the strength of our immune system. So our bodies are like a cup, and when we keep adding toxins to this cup, eventually it will overflow. When it overflows, our bodies start to have trouble functioning as normal. We see things like skin issues, like eczema, rashes, hives, things like that. We start to see a depressed immune system because our bodies are so busy dealing with the toxins that we come into contact with that it can't deal with viruses and other foreign things that we might be introduced to. So, this week, I'm taking you through ways that we can help improve the health of our home. The health of our home means the environment around us. How do we make it as healthy as possible? By reducing the number of toxins that are in our house, reducing the number of chemicals that we have that we come into contact with. And then there's some habit changes, ways that we can actually improve and make things healthier as far as the environment inside goes. This will give us a really good building block and tool to be able to support a healthy immune system for ourselves, for our kids, for any family members that are going to be in our house. So I'm walking you through 9 different ways this week on the blog post. Things like, really simple things. A lot of them have to do with reducing the amount of dust that we have in our house. And you might kind of think that's a little bit silly. I know I did. I kind of rolled my eyes the first time I heard that. But really, dust contains chemicals that are from overspray. So if we at one point used a chemical that had, or a cleaner that had like a chemical toxin in it, the overspray does end up in the air. And what happens is it then decides to settle and adhere to dust particles. Then it can go anywhere in your house. If you have like a corner behind a desk or underneath a bed, there's all kinds of little spots that dust really likes to settle in a house. And those spots have dust that contains the chemicals from overspray, chemicals that we bring in, maybe on our shoes, think like pesticides, or if you've walked through a public restroom or a Target, obviously they don't use green cleaners in these places, and it can get on the bottom of our shoes. So if we're like walking through our house, we're introducing all of that to our home, and sometimes it can stick around for longer than we initially would think. You don't just vacuum and it's gone. Some of it does end up in the air. Some of it gets caught by a furnace filter or an HVAC filter. Some of it, again, we vacuum up, some of it we dust. But the more that we take care of these things, the better off the health of our house will be. So removing dust in as many ways as possible, and a lot of times that means using a wet dust method or a wet mop, something that's really going to remove it. When we use something dry like a Swiffer or just like a little duster, a lot of times it just pushes it back up into the air, and it can actually aggravate, especially with people who have allergies or asthma. It can really aggravate that because it's now in the air and we can breathe it and it's not settled. So I have quite a few tips that will walk you through different areas to clean in your house. We want to implement a no shoe policy if we can in our own house. We generally have that policy here. Sometimes my kids will tromp through to go to the back door or something, but in general we make it pretty much you come in, you take your shoes off, they go in a tray. to prevent anything from coming into our house that we don't want. Some other things are tips on how to reduce humidity within your home. This is very important because humidity, high humidity, actually is a really good environment for mold, for mildew, for dust mite reproduction. And a lot of times our bodies just don't feel as good in a really humid indoor environment. And so I give you kind of an idea of what range we want to keep our home's humidity levels at. It's between 35% and 40%. You can use, if you have a smart thermostat, you can use that to tell you what your home's humidity levels are. If you don't, you can buy a device off Amazon. I have it linked in this week's post for you. It's a really good way to just kind of figure out what's going on with your house. Do you have rooms that are really humid? Do you have spaces that are maybe too dry? Too dry is also going to be hard on our bodies because it gets dried out really easily. Most of us have homes that are probably too humid because we live in them. We as humans produce humidity. Our habits produce humidity, and a lot of times we're not great about turning on a vented fan or opening a window or cooking with lids on. There's all these things that we do in our homes that allows water to evaporate into the air and raise the humidity levels. So I have a bunch of ideas for you that I've linked in this post that will take you to another post that's all about humidity, how to lower it or raise it and kind of create the perfect humidity level within your home. It's not only good for your home's health, but it's also good to live in a home where we really truly have a good climate. So I have all of these ideas in this week's blog post. I have a few other ideas, things that you can do in your bedroom to create a better sleeping environment so you're getting all of the rest you need and you're really supporting that healthy immune system. I have a couple ideas for your kitchen, some habits that we have in there, maybe some products we can switch out, get rid of plastic. That's kind of the big one there. And then I'm also talking to you about cleaning. Now this isn't something where you have to go to a store necessarily. The nice thing about this is you can order what you need, or I have a couple options to really make your own with things that you have in your house. So I'm so excited to be sharing this blog post with you. If you're watching this on YouTube, I have it linked below. If you're watching this on IGTV, you'll want to watch it on IGTV, and then you can click the live link that I have in the description. So if you have any questions or you have anything that you would like to share that you'll be doing while you're maybe stuck at home for these next, hopefully, short weeks, let me know and I'll share them on my social media pages. I'll talk to you guys next time.